Welcome to Russ Can't Fly. So as you can see, I'm back in 717 Golf. So this is the airplane that I took my check ride in. I'm glad to be back in the airplane and definitely excited. So we got a nice flight. I'm going to be flying to the Pocono Mountains, and so I'm gonna need to get out of here because I need my time and don't want to cut into anybody else's time. But of course, before I go, I want to give some subscriber shout outs to Too Low Gear and Conwell, Luis Perez, and Chow and Wow. Thank you guys for subscribing to the channel. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me. It really does. This motivates me, because, I'm getting people who are just aviation enthusiasts and, people who are actually pilots and student pilots and all that good stuff. So without further ado, let's get this party started. Clear prop. All right, that Garmin is coming up. All right, so I'm in here doing my thing, so just trying to get everything together. So the thing I like about this is like I have two comms now. So I had that before on the other plane, so I'm definitely feeling that. Having two comms and having this thing, I love 717. I'm not mad at you at all. All right, let's do our brake test. And I definitely want to give a shout out to Brother Anderson. I got your shirt on, baby. Thanks for the shirt. It's great. And I'll make sure I put the contact stuff for this, but he does so it's his love. You can't beat that. All right.
Wing Phil, Cessna 717 Golf, taxiing from the upper ramp for runway 6, wings.
All right, so we're going to taxi on out of here, do my run up, and head on to the Pocono. And I see compass is moving freely, balls opposite, turn coordinator is also functioning, vertical speed is at 0. Okay, so every flight I try to have a specific mission, and this one definitely has that in spades. I want to fly into the mountains. Why? Because I've been flying over mostly flat areas and elevations that are fairly low. Wings filled is like 397 feet MSL. I think the highest that I've seen is like 597 MSL. So I'm flying to Pocono Mountain Regional Airport, or Mike Papa Oscar, and the elevation there is 1,915 feet MSL. The pattern altitude is basically 3,000 feet MSL. I have never done that before. Basically, when I'm in pattern altitude, which means before I'm coming in to land at wings, I'm at 1,500 feet MSL. I'm going to be double that, and I've just never seen that sight picture on the out the window and on the altimeter. So I am preparing myself to fly to see my mama. That is one of my big to-dos, bucket list flights, to fly to Pittsburgh and see my mother. And so in order to do that, I want to do some practice flights where I'm flying in mountains as we have them here in the East, experience elevation and what I'm going to be dealing with in terms of winds and stuff. So that's the mission. All right, so no one's coming on final, and they just caused downwind. Nobody's on the field. It's clear.
Wing traffic, Cessna 717 Golf, departing runway 6, right turnout to the northwest, wings.
All right. Runway 6, runway 6. All right, we're good. Heels to the floor, full power.
Wing for Foxtrot Alpha, final 6, wings.
Engine instruments in the green, oil temp, oil pressure, all look good. Airspeed is alive. And let's fly, baby. I can't tell you how much I enjoy flying, and I really want to thank the good Lord above for blessing me with this amazing opportunity to be able to fly an airplane. I can't wait to share it with a lot of people, but I just have to just say that, this is just such a huge blessing. And, the Lord has just been so good to me, and I just wanted to say that so that you could hear me say that this is just such an amazing thing. But
it's the good Lord. It's not me. So just thank you, Lord.
Wings traffic, Cessna 717 Golf, left crosswind, turn out to the northwest, last call, wing.
Alright, so on my way to the Poconos. I gotta wait until I clear this Bravo, and then I'll be able to finish my climb up to 6.5. Everything is looking good, oil temp, oil pressure. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and climb up. Climbing to 6.5.
340.
Alright, so I'm just basically climbing out now. I'm going up to 6.5.
Traffic, number 340, left base for runway 6.
I'm going to be flying over the Allentown Airport. They are, their airspace is up to 4,400, so that's why I gotta keep my climb going. And the reason why I'm climbing to 652 is part of my flight plan. Is I see that the TPA at the Pocono, I'm flying to the Pocono Mountains Regional Airport. TPA there is 3,000 feet. Well, it's actually accurately, the elevation is 1915, so TPA is 2915, so I'm just rounding up. So the reason why I'm going up to 6.5 is because I only have to lose 3,000 feet of, basically, once I get up there to Allentown, so I wanted a little bit more altitude. So once I get up to my cruising altitude, I will do my cruise checklist. So, welcome aboard. And it's great to be able to fly this plane again. I like 717 Golf. I like the avionics. I finally got comfortable with those. And yeah, it's just really great. And so, you know, I always talk about firsts. So this is a first for me. This is the highest I've ever been. I don't think I've ever been above 5,000 feet. And so this is a first. All right, so I'm almost at my cruising altitude of 6,500. I have changed the frequencies there. So actually I'm at 6.5. And instruments, oil temp, oil pressure, all in the good. Oil temp, oil pressure in the green. Suction is good. And everything looks good. So just cruising out. Gonna try to hold my altitude, hold my direction, and just cruise on to the Poconos. And as you can see, there's some clouds out there, so I'll just have to be mindful of that. Because, you know, I got to stay 500 feet below. And so one of the things that I'm noticing about this is being a little higher. I mean, I don't know if it's just me kind of tripping and I'm up this high, but it feels like the plane is working smoother. So every flight that I do, I definitely try to incorporate something new. So two things that are happening during this flight that are new. One, you've heard me say it 1,000 times, and yes, I tend to repeat myself, which is ridiculous. And please forgive me for that. But I'm flying higher than I ever did. And I'm flying into the Poconos. I'm flying into the mountains. And so the reason why I wanted to do this flight and to do this higher altitude flying is to get used to going home to see my mama, because eventually that's going to be my mission. I'm going to be flying to Pittsburgh, Allegheny County Airport specifically, and you know, there's some mountains and things like that, so I just want to get a feel for what that's like, a little higher elevation, and so that's why I have a little higher altitude. Alright, so one of the things too is we got a little bit of a headwind, so I'm doing about, let me see, what is it, about 100 miles, about 100 knots, about maybe 110 miles per hour. So a little slow, but I do have I think like a 8-knot headwind or something like that. So let me see, I'm about 35 nautical miles from the airport, and back on track, and everything is looking groovy. So really want to try to hold my altitude, get a little bit more cabin heat, Because it is definitely a little brisk in here, but you know, it's funny. I'd rather it be brisk than too warm. Because I just like to keep myself a little cooler. That just seems to work well with staying focused. I want to be cold. I don't want to, not hyperventilate, but the other word. When you're too cold, your body's too cold. Can't think of it right this minute, but you know what I'm talking about. Hypothermia, or suffer from hypothermia. All right, so what I need to do is need to get the weather. I need to get the weather so I can get the winds. I see a NOTAM here.
Traffic radio test.
And one of the NOTAMs is that
Leo out there.
one of the runways is closed.
From future.
And all clear, as you can see, nice and clear.
Poconos traffic, Skyhawk 9480 Echo is departing the pattern to the southwest. Poconos traffic.
Now, I just heard somebody from Poconos departing. Definitely flying over some mountains here and getting some winds. It's definitely different. So I'm definitely paying some attention to what the airplane is doing over these mountains here.
And as I stated before, that was one of the goals or missions of this particular flight. I wanted to see what it was like when you fly over mountains and it's a little windy. What do the winds do? And I noticed as soon as I got over top of those mountains, the plane started bouncing around a little bit. And as you can see, I'm kind of, having to not necessarily fight the airplane, but it's definitely moving around a lot more than when I was not over the mountains.
All right, so I'm gonna start getting myself together here. And as you can see, I'm getting a little bit of moving around here. Not gonna lie, this used to bug me. Doesn't bother me as much as it used to.
We have insight.
But it definitely still makes me pay attention to what the airplane is doing, making sure I'm coordinated, listening to the engine, all of that good stuff. But yeah, there's some mountains down over there, and I noticed that it got a lot more bumpy as we were flying over those mountains there. So that's definitely something I'm going to be paying some attention to, for sure. Yeah, so I definitely need just more work
Clear to 25, city.
keeping my altitude. Like that would have made Manish bark. He definitely would have been like, dude, what are you doing? All right, we're going to start descending here.
96 Bravo, turning left base.
Descent mixture full rich. Nice 500 feet per minute descent.
Bravo, turning left final.
All right, descent carb heat. Fuels on both. Carb heat, put that on. ATIS AWAS. I'll be going down to 3,000. So as you look at here, dear, I can't see much of anything. Goodness. Keep hitting stuff. So just gonna start looking for the field. That can't be it right there, can it?
And that actually was the field. And for some reason, I don't know if it's just a psychological thing or if it was actually something physical, being a little higher elevation, but it seems like the airport just kind of snuck up on me. Now, to my defense, I was at TPA because I had already mapped that out. But even though that was true, I still found myself being almost kind of caught off guard. I mean, I knew about where I was, but for some reason, it just like, oh, there's the airport. And so, definitely a little bit of a rookie mistake there. And I think the way in which I was approaching the airport put me a little further away, so it threw me off in terms of how many miles I was away via the GPS indication.
Mount Pocono, Cessna 717 Golf, about 4 miles southeast of the field. Going to enter 45 for runway 31, Mount Pocono. Pocono Mountains, Cessna 717 Golf, entering the left downwind for runway 31, Pocono Mountains.
All right, carb heat, landing light on, mixture fuel rich, fuel tanks on both. All right, I already got my carb heat.
And one thing for sure was a little bouncy up here. The winds were definitely more shifty than I'm used to.
All right, let's get our first notch of flaps. Nose coming down.
Pocono Mountains, Cessna 717 Golf, turning left base for runway 31, Poconos.
Let's get our second notch of flaps in there. Make sure I'm not too low and not too slow.
Pocono Mountains, Cessna 717 Golf, turning final for runway 31, Pocono.
All right, I'm on final. Let's bring her on in. Let's get it. So now that I'm on the ground, nice, safe and sound, welcome to the Poconos. But one of the things that I have to do that I don't really like to do is I'm going to have to back taxi back on runway 31 or back to runway 31 in order to take back off. And it always feels weird when I have to do that. Like I don't like being on an active runway going the opposite direction of landing traffic.
Pocono County, Pocono Mountains, Cessna 717 Golf, taxiing back runway 31 for runway 31, Pocono.
Alright, so I got a back taxi here. Get the flaps up. I'm gonna keep my landing light on. So as you can see, I have to taxi back on the active here. I can do a turn, get myself straightened out, so I'm not wasting any time. But welcome to the Poconos! Welcome to the Poconos. Crazy.
Okay, so I'm back taxiing and getting ready to line myself up to basically go right back and take off 3-1 and head on back to Doylestown. I'll show that takeoff and I'll do my outro. But there's a few things that I definitely learned. One, it definitely, if there's any wind, the winds definitely behave differently over mountains. And yes, we're talking about the Pocono Mountains. We're not talking about, the Rockies or anything like that. But it still was enough of a difference to be noticeable, number one. But number two, the other thing that I will say is that it was just weird to look at the altimeter and see 3,000 feet. I just wasn't used to that, so it threw off my sense of projecting myself out in space. And so it was definitely different flying in the higher elevations, and it was definitely something that I noted. So I was happy to have this flight and have this experience. All right, so let's get ready to take off and let's get back to Doylestown.
All right, so I'm on Pocono. Okay, so I'm gonna get on out of here.
Pocono now. 717 Golf, departing runway 31 to the southeast, Pocono.
All right. Anybody calling? All right. Mixture full rich. Trim is set for takeoff. Flaps are up. Trim set for takeoff.
Definitely making sure I do all my flows and cognizant of the fact that at the end of the runway there are some trees. So definitely aware of that.
All right, 3-1, heels to the floor, full power. All right, engine instruments in the green. Airspeed is alive, oil temp, all pressure, all look good.
Bye, Poconos! Alright, so as I come in for my landing back at Wings, I think in the previous voiceover I said something about Doylestown. I got confused because actually this is when I flew 717 Golf out of Wings as opposed to flying out of Doylestown. So as I come in on runway 6, I thank you for flying with me. I absolutely love flying. I just the pure joy of being able to do this is such a huge blessing. And I count all of you who watch these videos as a blessing as well, because I love that I'm able to share this experience with you. So anyway, as I'm bringing it to a perfect landing, wasn't anything perfect, but at least it got the job done. But I just thank you for watching me, supporting Russ Can Fly, all of that good stuff. And so until next time, Russ Kid, Russ Can Fly, I'm out. See ya.